With the political season heating up and the election just 2 weeks away, the ads for the race for governor are getting nasty. Over the weekend, Roy Barnes released a spot stating that when Nathan Deal was a state senator, he tried to weaken protection for rape victims. The Republican Governors Association released an ad that focused on the verbal gaffe made by Barnes when he was governor in 2002 after the deaths of 2 children in state custody. Next Tuesday, a Meet the Candidates reception will be held at the Rainwater Conference Center starting at 5 p.m. Candidates attending the event include Jack Kingston, Sanford Bishop, and Mike Cowan. Also, many candidates running for local elections in Valdosta and Lowndes County will be in attendance. Students who ride school buses throughout Georgia could soon have to put a seatbelt on. Several lawmakers in the state are asking whether seatbelts on buses would make the ride safer for kids. The issue was brought to the table after a bus crash in North Georgia claimed the life of a 17-year-old student. A new study released by the Breast Cancer Research and Treatment Center suggests that eating too many chips and fries can put a person at risk for breast cancer. Chips and fries are high in acrylamide, which is linked to the cancer. It is estimated that nearly 100,000 women in the U.S. are diagnosed with breast cancer each year. This evening from 7 o'clock to 8:30 in the VSU Art Gallery, Tom Lundquist Computer Illustrations presents Poissons des Chants. Literally translated, it means the singing fish. The exhibit features numerous electronic illustrations that reference former artists such as René Magritte and Salvador Dali. Lundquist is known to incorporate humorous imagery and optical illusions in his work. The exhibit will run through November 5th. Hello Valdosta, I'm Josh Colwell and this is your sports update. The VSU Blazers are gearing up for the first round of the Division II playoffs. The Blazers finished the regular season with a loss to West Alabama and moved to 8-2 on the season and 6-2 in conference play. With the loss to West Alabama, VSU received the 3rd seed in the playoff bracket. The Blazers will now face conference rival North Alabama on home turf this Saturday. In the first meeting between the two teams this season, the Black Swarm defense held North Al scoreless to win 5-0. VSU will likely alternate between Brett Whitmire and Austin Roberts at starting quarterback. Game time is set for 1 p.m. this Saturday at Bazemore Hyder Stadium. Saturday marked the continuation of one of the biggest rivalries in college football. The UGA Bulldogs traveled to Jacksonville, Florida to take on the Florida Gators in the 89th meeting between the two teams. Florida took an early lead of 21-7 at halftime, but the Bulldogs came back to make things interesting in the second half. The game had several subplots, including 2 All-American players going head-to-head, a sketchy Florida kicker, and a true freshman quarterback for UGA. The teams would not allow things to be settled in regulation, and a dramatic overtime victory was finally claimed by the Florida Gators. According to Gator records, the overall standings in the rivalry are 46-40-2, while the Bulldogs claim that it is over 47-40-2 in the favor of the Dogs. That's a 1-game differential. The debate will continue until next year, but for now, the Florida Gators have the right to raise the Okefenokee or high. The Valdosta State Blazers have given us plenty to talk about this week. Beginning with team play, the 10th-ranked VSU Blazers defeated the Arkansas Tech Wonder Boys emphatically Saturday. They played well in every aspect of the game, leading them to their 7th win of the season and 5th win in conference play. Starting quarterback Brett Whitmire made his return from injury and picked up right where he left off. Whitmire completed 14 of 30 passes for 184 yards, while also picking up a touchdown by a 15-yard scramble. David Arnold joined the action with his first rushing touchdown of the season coming in the 4th quarter to give VSU a 14-7 lead. Stevie Harden tacked on the final points for VSU as he pulled down an interception and took it 33 yards for a pick 6. With this 21-7 victory, VSU holds the #1 spot in the Gulf South Conference. The Blazers will look to continue their dominance this weekend as the West Georgia Wolves come howling into Bazemore Hyder Stadium. Game time is set for 2 p.m. The Georgia Bulldogs and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are both coming off tough losses this past weekend. The Bulldogs are now 5-6 on the season, while the Jackets are 5-5. Georgia Tech will face the Duke Blue Devils this weekend, and with a win, the Jackets will become bowl eligible. The Dogs are taking the week off to prepare for the Jackets, and with a victory over Tech, UGA would also become bowl eligible. The game will be held in Athens this year and marks the 105th meeting between the two teams. Georgia has an advantage in the series with a record of 60-39. The rivalry dates all the way back to 1893.
While many college students would say the biggest thing they are lacking is money, their parents might argue that it's responsibility. One VSU student has found a way to bring the two sides closer together, at least on the weekends. Felix Vayner, a senior general studies major at VSU, has begun a new form of designated driving for college students and Valdosta locals. The service is called the Tipsy Transit and began taking shape this summer.
Me and my roommates were just hanging out at the house and got to talking about it, and I just decided to run with the idea.
In order to legally provide public transportation, Vayner acquired several licenses from Bremerton and Valdosta authorities.
Between the licensing and startup fees and costs, it was pretty hard to get everything together. It took me a few months.
While the Tipsy Transit is a business for Vayner, the company is sticking to the original plan of providing affordable transportation to college students. Vayner has no plans for this party to come to an end anytime soon. He's already considering expansion for the transit. Students have shown their support by jumping on board and keeping Vayner busy. The transit provides the atmosphere to not only enjoy the party, but also the commute to and from your home.
The atmosphere, and that you can bring all your friends on and have a good time together and just take the party with you.
While Vayner did express that he's interested in expanding the Tipsy Transit in the future, he also expressed that he is content right now with providing a safe, fun night for college students. For VSU TV News, I'm Josh Colwell.